Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia and today I'm doing the Hercule Poirot mystery book tag, originally created by Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, and I was also tagged by Alice. So let's go ahead and get started. Prompt number 1 is Hercule Poirot is a detective who is extremely proud of his achievements. In the mystery of the blue train, he announced, "My name is Hercule Poirot and I am probably the greatest detective in the world. If not Poirot, who is your favorite detective? And what book do you recommend featuring your favorite?" I think for this one I'm going to say my favorite detective is Sherlock Holmes, which I know is not super original or creative, but I grew up listening to Sherlock Holmes radio shows. I don't remember really reading Sherlock Holmes stories very often. I remember listening to them performed as radio dramas though. And also we watched every single one of the Sherlock Holmes movies. My family did not watch a lot of movies, but we always went and watched the Sherlock Holmes movies. So I think that's who I'm going to say my favorite detective is. And just because it's the one I've read most recently, I'm going to recommend A Study in Scarlet, which also is a great place to start if you have never read Sherlock Holmes or want to start rereading the stories because it is the first one. Prompt number 2 is Hercule Poirot famously uses his little gray cells to solve cases. Have you ever solved an Agatha Christie mystery? If yes, which one? If no, is there an author whose mystery you have solved? To my knowledge, I've never solved an Agatha Christie mystery. My memory is not always great, so I guess it's possible that some of the ones that I only kind of have vague memories of reading, maybe I could have solved it, but I don't think I did. I don't think I've solved any Agatha Christie mysteries. The one book that comes to mind where I did actually solve the mystery is Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas. I think there have been others, but this is the one that I can remember off the top of my head. Also, this was YA, so it is a little bit easier to solve YA mysteries than mysteries in adult books. But still, I solved it, and I'm going to be proud of that fact. Prompt number 3 is The Mysterious Affair at Styles is the introduction to Hercule Poirot. Recommend a first book in a series where you met one of your favorite characters. So this question was actually kind of difficult for me because I was looking at my shelf and I was like, all of the books I'm thinking about and all the characters I'm thinking about are standalone books. But I'm going to mention The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is the first book in the series. And honestly, all of the books in the series have amazing characters, but specifically the third book, Record of a Spaceborne Few, has some characters that I just love and adore. So yeah, they are not introduced in The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, but this is the first book in the series, and all of the characters are great. So if you're looking for good characters, Becky Chambers is the woman for you. Prompt number 4 is Murder on the Orient Express. Agatha Christie wrote several Poirot books set on different types of transport. What is your favorite mystery set on a train, plane, or boat? For this, I'm going to say Murder on the Orient Express is my favorite, as it's the only one that I'm thinking of right now that takes place in a type of transport or on a type of transport, opposed from the book I'm currently listening to, which mostly takes place in a car. But since I haven't finished that one yet, I can't say it's one of my favorites. And I don't know if I've read any others besides Murder on the Orient Express. I feel pretty confident that I have, and my brain is just failing me at the moment. But either way, Murder on the Orient Express is going to be my favorite, and it's a great book, so it deserves that spot. Prompt number 5 is The ABC Murders features a killer working their way through an alphabet of victims. Recommend a mystery involving a serial killer. For this, I'm going to recommend I'm Not a Serial Killer by Dan Wells. In this, we follow a young man who has all the tendencies and desires to become a serial killer. So to make sure he doesn't, he follows very strict rules that he abides by. It's like his religion to make sure he doesn't give in to those tendencies. However, as he is just trying to live his life and not become a serial killer, people in his town start showing up dead, and there is a killer on the loose. And this book is so good. I really enjoyed this book. It's been a couple years since I read it. This is the first book in a trilogy, And I think about this series all the time because I enjoyed it so much. So this is what I'm going to recommend, and especially it feels very appropriate because there's a serial killer, but also there's a character who is working very hard to not become a serial killer. Prompt number 6 is Dumb Witness. Bob the dog helps Poirot's investigation in this one. Can you recommend a book where an animal helps to solve the case? I sure can, and that is The Cat Who Came to Breakfast by Lillian Jackson Braun. It has been a long time since I read this book. I don't know why I still have it, because I haven't read it since I was in high school. It has been so long, but it just sits on my shelf because I remember enjoying it. I don't even remember what happens in this, but the whole point of this series is there's a cat who helps solve the mysteries. Prompt number 7 is Five Little Pigs, also adapted as a play Go Back for Murder. Poirot solves several cases in his time that have been closed for years. Which is your favorite cold case Poirot? If you don't have one, can you recommend any other authors/detectives who have solved past cold cases? For this, I'm going to recommend Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. Truly Devious is the first book in the Truly Devious series, and this series follows a teenage girl who goes to this very prestigious boarding school, and her thing is like true crime and solving, and she's trying to solve the case of who murdered I think it was a little baby girl of the original founder and owner of this school. This is a YA series that I would definitely recommend if you are into YA mysteries. Prompt number 8 is Dead Man's Folly is famously set at Agatha Christie's own holiday home, Greenway. What is your favorite murder mystery setting? I think my favorite murder mystery setting is like the closed environment, the locked door or the locked room, whatever you want to call it, setting where there's a very limited amount of people. You know, like the things that take place on trains or planes or in a house that's snowed in and no one can get out and no one can get in. And, you know, someone there had to do it. I always really enjoy those. That's definitely something that is a buzzword for me as well. So I think that's my favorite setting. Prompt number 9 is, do you have a favorite Poirot mystery? If not, tell us a favorite mystery you've read recently. I think for this, I'm going to say Murder on the Orient Express, just because it is the one I've enjoyed the most of the Poirots I've read so far. I haven't read most of them. I've only read a handful of the Poirot novels, and I think Murder on the Orient Express is my favorite of those I have read. And prompt number 10 is, how many Poirot books have you read? If you've not read any or haven't read many yet, which one do you plan to read next? So I actually counted, and I've only read 3. I thought I'd read more than that, but I was looking at the Agatha Christie books I own and thinking about the ones I've read, and most of them have been not Poirot. I've read a handful of standalones and some Tommy and Tuppence and some Miss Marple, and only 3 Poirot novels so far. But the one I plan on reading next is the one I'm currently in the middle of, which is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. And that is the Hercule Poirot mystery book tag. I'm going to go ahead and tag Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot because I know she has read some Agatha Christie recently, and Shelley Swearingen. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!